Excellent. So you are cordially welcome. Welcome to the journey through the valley of the shadows of research methods. It's not a difficult course. You drink deep. And then when you drink deep, you don't have problem. I remember Shakespeare once said, drink deep or taste not the Pierian spring. So you are cordially welcome. My name is Dr. Ohene. I will be walking you through this course so that you will see how to enjoy doing your own research methods. You can apply this to your business. You can apply this to your research work that you will do academically. You can apply it to everything. The key point I tend to tell people is that don't talk too much if you don't know a statistic is involved. So there must be a significance to what you are saying. Sometimes you see on the radio, I can assure you that the government is, meanwhile he has no evidence. So you don't talk like that. You must have evidence before you can prove that. So you're cordially welcome. Now, I will walk you through the session we shall be looking at today. Today we want to look at data types. Data types. There are different kinds of data that we'll be engaging ourselves in. And when we talk about data, we are just looking at a collection of observations. And an observation could be human beings. An observation could be cities. An observation could be countries. An observation could be number of cars, number of universities, number of anything. And when you put that together, then you have a data. Okay, so we shall be looking today at data types. We want to look at the difference between categorical data and numerical data. The difference between nominal data, ordinal data, ratio, interval. Why do you need them? Because if you don't know the type of data, you cannot really correctly do a research. You cannot even make a statement and know what you should collect. Sometimes a certain question you pose requires that you go for a particular type of data. Okay, so knowing the type of data will help you pose the right questions. And of course, knowing the right questions will also help you to know the right data to collect. So we shall be looking at them, and then the level of measurement that is embedded in this data type. So the key topics to be covered in this session are as follows. We shall look at categorical, which is also qualitative, numerical, which is quantitative data, scale of measurement, that is the actual level of measurement within the data. The reading list is all there for you. So please go to chapter 1 to 3 of Anderson and Sweeney and Williams, Statistics for Business and Economics, and go and dance. Go and dance through those things and enjoy reading those things. In fact, if you look at pages 40 to 45 of Lane, you will see online statistics education is also there. Most of the information is also in there. You can now go and glean yourself into them. Okay, so let's see. You want to take a research, and before you go for that research, this is the first thing you have to do. You have to see what is inside the data. What is inside the data that you want to copy? The data type is very important. The scale of measurement will help you relate that type of statistics analysis and then use it to examine the data type. So we are going to dig more into the types and then the level of measurement for each data. What is the scale of measurement? Scale of measurement. You see, when we talk about data type, we are talking about quantitative data and then qualitative data. But under each one of them, you have scale of measurement. What is that? What is scale of measurement? Well, it tells you the amount of information within the data and tells you the most appropriate data that you can summarize and then the statistical analysis you can use. It's very important. Now, why is that important? You will see that very soon. Let's look at the first data type, categorical data. Any other name you think you can have for categorical data? Categorical data. What do you think is there another name for categorical data? Think. Categorical data. If we say a data is categorical, yes.
Nominal.
Good. Good. But when we say a data is categorical, you might want to look more at a qualitative. Very broad qualitative. Okay. Now, it is a categorical data because it can be grouped. You can group them together. So within that group, you can have a category. I'll give you an example very soon for you to get a picture of that. Okay. A categorical data. When you have an observation is from a set of non-overlapping categories. So when we say an observation, say you as an individual, you are an observation, and you are within a category. If you have male and female, one category will be what? That male group. And within that, you will have individual males within. And then you have another category, which is female group. Then within that, you will have another level. Okay. But within the category, or within a categorical data, we have two levels of measurement. The level of measurement exists under that. And the first level of measurement we want to look at is called nominal. So the data could be a nominal data. Please note, I didn't say number. I didn't say number. It's not a number. Okay, it's a nominal data. And when we say that a data is nominal, it means that it's got labels. It's got names associated with it. Okay, so let's get a picture clear. You can use a name to represent a person. So we all have names. Okay. And that name, you cannot write it as a number. Like suppose you are called Kwejo. Kwejo, let's try and write it as a number. It won't make sense. 4, 5, 6, 7. You can't write that as a number. It is a label. And so it's represented by letters. And that, you use that label to indicate an attribute of an element. And that is clearly what a nominal data is. Please remember this. When you have such a data, it's called a nominal data. You cannot rank it. You cannot put it in order. So even if there are a number of them, there is no intrinsic order. It's meaningless. I'll give you an example. Suppose you are talking about sex. Okay. There are different kinds of sex. You can talk about a straight person, a gay person, homosexual person, a heterosexual, a bisexual. All these are different kinds of sexes of an individual. But when you pick each one of them, can you rank it or say this one is better than the other? Like a straight person is better than a gay person is better than a bisexual person. You can't rank which one is better, especially if you're in a foreign land. If you make a mistake and you do that, they will say that you are a sexist. You can't do that. It's very dangerous. So because you can't do that, and because you can't rank it, but you still have a name for it, it is nominal. Another example is the marital status of a person. Divorced, single, widowed, and other things. Can you rank them? Can you say which one is better than the other? You can't. In fact, you can't say a single person is better than a married person, better than a divorced person. No, you can't. And that is what nominal data type is. You cannot rank them. And even if you try to put them in that ordering, it is meaningless. It has no meaning. But you see, what you can do, however, is that you can code them. You can code them. So we can say that let widowed be number 1, single be 2, married be 3, and then divorced be 4. Now, does it mean that if I go and look at number 1, because widowed is 1, it means widowed is more important? No. It doesn't show anything. So you can still code them. Yes, coding is different from, ranking. So you can code them 1, 2, 3. But that coding is still meaningless because you can switch the numbering, isn't it? You can now decide that let me make number 1 widow, let me now make widow 4. You see, that again tells you how bogus the numbering was, the coding was. So in a nominal data, you have no numbering in there. Excellent, excellent. Now, if you look at another data type, ordinal. Ordinal. You see, the way it sounds alone is enough. Ordinal. It has what word in it? Order. Order. So it tells you that there is what there? Ordering in there, ranking in there. But remember, it is also using names and labels. Using names and labels the same way as it is, but then you can rank the name. That without numbers, so you can still rank the name inside your head. You can rank them, which one is more important than the other. Okay, so if you have numbering in there, it is meaningful. You can rank them in an ascending order or in a descending order. It doesn't matter. Let's take an example. Suppose you have your class mark, and then the teacher writes excellent, poor, and then good. You see the way I mentioned them? Excellent, poor, good. If I say you should rank this in order, which one will you bring first? Yes, Kwesi? Excellent first. Second? Good. Poor. But you see the way I mentioned them? I say excellent, poor, and then good. But you have not put them what? In a proper ranking. Even though I did not give you what? Numbering. Without even numbers, you can tell within the word, in your mind, you can sense what? The ranking in there. Wonderful. And that is how ordinal is. So sometimes you can have responses like from a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is strongly dislike, and then 5 is strongly like. Okay, rank them, and then you can rank those things. So strongly dislike. So if you look at that, I have strongly dislike, I have dislike, neutral, like, and then strongly like. Suppose you have a class ranking, okay, and watch the way I have done this now. Remember, we are talking about ordinal, and we are saying that you can rank them. Okay, so the first one I have is excellent, then I have poor, and then I have good. How will you put this in a good order?
The first one will be excellent, good, and poor.
Excellent. So you see, I also say excellent, as if it's part of it. And that is excellent because what you realize is that even though I mentioned poor first, it happens to be what? The last. So the way you mention, even if I mention excellent first, poor second, and good third, you can sense through that there's a better ranking than what I said. And that has nothing to do with putting a number on it and say that excellent is number 1, good is number 2, or poor is number 3. Very good, very good. Let's continue. So, Charles, you had a question. Now pose your question and let's see.
Doc, please, you gave an example of strongly dislike, neutral, like, and strongly like as an ordinal scale.
Yeah.
But I'm failing to understand how neutral is of a higher order than dislike, or neutral is of a lower order than like.
You see, some people, I understand your point. So if we are to put numbering on this, and we are ranking it, the higher you go, the better. Okay, then which one will come first? Strongly dislike, okay, will be number 1, and then dislike will be number 2. And then neutral, Charles's point, will be number 3. And then like, 4. And then strongly like, 5. Now his point is that he baffles his imagination why neutral will be given 3, which makes it look like it's better than dislike, which is 2. And then it is less compared to like, which is 4. So let's see something. If I say I am indifferent, okay, you can use the word indifferent to replace neutral. Do you like fufu, banku, wache, or agbelikakolo? Okay, or something else. Okay. Now, if you should put numbering on them, and then you say, oh, when it comes to this one, I don't dislike it, and I don't also like it. Where will you put that? You put that one in the middle. I don't dislike it. So you will surely not bring it, you will surely not bring it above like, because you don't dislike it. Or you will surely not bring it below dislike, because you don't dislike it. Now, if you say, I don't like it, I don't like it. If you don't like it, then it means more or less it's like saying you are disliking it. So you can still put it in that middle order. Okay, I understand when you say that some people find it difficult, but in the manner in which, if you cannot make a choice and say that I'm still indifferent between the two, okay, so indifference is more or less like neutral, and by opting first of all to say you are indifferent in the first place, it's like choosing. You are making a preference, okay, because the neutral is part of either you dislike or you don't dislike. It's part of the ranking process. So if I give you the ranking, obviously, then it means that you're positioning yourself into that one. And so you choose a number that becomes part of the ordinal process. Excellent, good. You are shaking your head. It tells me that you get a point. So once you get a point, we can box on. So here, if we have a rating of 5, I'm asking the question, what does the rating of 5 indicate? Without a doubt, you can see that it indicates the fact. So if you are to rank this thing, which word will be representing 5 in that ascending order?
Strongly like.
Strongly like, exactly. Strongly like. So here, if you should put numbering on it, okay, you can still do what? You can still see that the numbering makes sense. Unlike in nominal, if you put numbering on it, it's still meaningless. So the key point, 2 things. One, they are both names, they are both labels, but the labeling is meaningful in ordinal and meaningless in nominal. So you see my chart is showing the manner in which, yes?
I would like to find out from the ordinal scale, could there be a situation where the 5, like strongly like in this case, could it be the worst in terms of strongly dislike?
Absolutely. If you rank it in that order. So you remember we said that ordinal could be ascending or descending order. So if you are going ascending, then number 5 will be strongly like. But if you are going descending, then you start from 5, 4, 3, 2, and then obviously you can see that that one becomes number 1. Exactly. So once you choose your order, the order or your ranking in numerical form will make the sense out of it. Very good. Levels of measurement. Now, the staircase that I'm having here, the staircase alone should tell you something, that we are climbing. Okay, we are moving a step further. What data is seen as a very strong data is usually as you move further the ladder in this context. So the further you go, the seemingly better the data type is. Let's go to the next one. Numerical data type. Numerical. A variable, and we are going to look at 2 of them. One is interval and the other is ratio. Please be careful and follow the trend, because sometimes, especially interval, could be slightly confusing. Okay. And a variable is an interval scale if the data have all the properties of ordinal data. Don't forget ordinal data, it can be ranked. It's got all the properties of ordinal data, and the interval between the values is expressed in terms of a fixed unit of measure. The interval between this value and the other one is expressed in terms of a fixed unit of measure. So scores on an interval scale can be added or they can be subtracted, but cannot be meaningfully multiplied or divided. Because if you meaningfully multiply or divide it, the interval change. The intervals are going to change, and you'll see an example very soon. One key point you should know about interval data is that they are always numbers. They are always numeric. Okay, so let's take something here. Let's look at the difference between the temperature of 100 degrees. That's very hot, isn't it? And then compare that with 90 degrees. What is the difference here? What is the difference between 100 and 90 degrees? 10. Okay. Compare that difference between 90 degrees and 80 degrees. What is the difference here? 10. But then you will agree with me that in terms of 100 degrees and 80 degrees, there is a difference in terms of how hot it is. But then what we are interested in is that the difference of 10 is still the same. The difference of 10 is still the same. So in terms of interval, the interval is still constant as you go through. Okay, that is one thing you can use to indicate interval data. You have a certain variable or a certain number and another number, and then you have those separation between them. So you are more or less always talking about two numbers for interval data to work. So normally you give a range, and anytime you have a range, then the data type or the level of measurement is bordering on interval data. Okay, let's look at something like the students, your SAT scores. Okay, if you have SAT score like math scores, but remember, we are going to rank this thing right now. Okay, math scores of 620, 550, and 470. You can rank them, can't you? If we are to talk about the first being the highest, then the first is going to be 620, second will be 550, and then 470. You can rank them. But what are you ranking here? Are you ranking labels? Are you ranking labels? No. You are ranking what? Numbers. So yes, even though they are rankable, you are ranking them like you were doing with the ordinal data. The difference between this one and the ordinal is that you have numbers representing the scores here. Now with the ordinal data, you had what? Labels, names representing them. But you see, at the end of the day, in both cases, you're going to be focusing on what? On the rank. That is your focus. Okay. So they say that when you pass this number, you are passed. Okay. So that gives you a rank in that context. In both cases, you have a rank, but the difference is that the interval, you will have numbers. Okay. And then the final one. After this, we are going to dance with some small tests, my friend. So get ready. The last one is ratio. You see, the way the name sounds alone should tell you clearly that this is the mama of all the data type, more or less. If the values or the observation belonging to the data may take on any value within a finite or infinite interval, then we are talking about ratio. Okay. So one thing about ratio is that obviously they are numeric, they are number because it's under numerical data type. And then you have absolute zero. In other words, when I mention the thing, one of the answers could be zero. It is possible for an answer to be what? Zero. So the number zero is a possibility. That's what we are talking about. That is one interesting thing about ratio data compared to that of the ordinal data. You can count it, you can order it, you can measure it. Count, order, measure, ratio. Can you count zero? Sure, you can count zero. It's part of a counting process. Okay, so you can count it, and then you can have that. So we have looked at four different types of data, and that is what we want to focus on. Now, the next one here, I've made a slight typo here. The next one here is examples of ratio data. So I'm going to give you a quick example. Let's take this one. Income. Can it be zero? Can an income of a person be zero? Sure. So you can now understand why that is what? A ratio data. Amount of sugar in an orange. Can amount of sugar in an orange be zero? Please think about bitter oranges. Very bitter oranges. Okay. So if it is possible for zero value to appear, of course, then you can have that. And of course, amount of sugar, you see, you can measure the amount of sugar. You remember one of the characteristics of ratio, you can measure it. And so, obviously, it's bad. Number of employees. Exactly. So, you can be the sole person in that company. And so, the number of employees will be what? Zero. We always tend to have problems with this one. Age. Can age be 0? Be careful. Be careful before you answer. Drink saliva. Can age be 0? Age. Age. Think. Can age be 0? When do we start counting a child's age? When? Can you say that a child is 11 months old?
Yes.
You can.
Say that.
Good. So when do we start counting a child's age?
That's when the child is born or
Born.
at birth.
Exactly. So I thought you were going to say when the child is in the womb. When the child is in the womb, we don't count the child's age. We rather count the woman's what? Pregnancy. Okay. So that whole 9 months, the child is how many years old? 0 years. You never thought of that, did you? 0 years old. So the moment the child comes out, then you can see the age has started. In fact, I remember some years ago when the 6 billionth child was born in the United States, we had 2 people fighting that their child was the 6 billionth child. Why? And then they had to now calculate the interval between when the 2 children were born. And guess what? It was about 19 milliseconds between them. So you can see milliseconds has been what? An age timing. So the moment the child is born, 6 seconds old, my child is born. Okay, so a child can be 1 day old, 6 hours old, 2 minutes old, a second old. And that is what tells you clearly why age is a ratio. So it's a very powerful thing. Normally when you want to do age, the only way you can use for age is what? Is a number. Okay, and you can use that for it. Excellent. Distance. You see, if age can be 0, then most of these other ones could be 0. Distance, the height. Somebody was saying the height of a child, can it be 0 height? Because a child's height can still be measured when the child is still what? In the belly. Maza. Let me tell you, once you cannot see clearly the child, there is a slightest chance that you will make a mistake. You cannot get a full picture of the child's height. Okay, you are likely to use the woman's something to now differentiate that from it. So the height could also be 0 once the child's age has not also been. Of course, the child is in the womb, so you can still get the age, so you can still get the height. Unless you want to now find a situation between the mother and the child, then you cannot try and disentangle the 2 of them. Okay, time is needed to run a mile. Time can also be what? In a form of ratio data. What a joy. What a joy to start this thing this way. So in summary, let's summarize. In summary, as you see the chart climbing that way, it tells you that from nominal data, you can improve a data type from nominal to what? To ordinal. And improve it from ordinal to interval. Improve it from interval to data. What a joy. And most of these charts is each of them is trying to explain what it means in that regard. Okay. Are you ready for some exercise? Because you see, I want to believe that you have soaked the entire section 1. So we are ready to now zoom into some exercise. I'll be helping you in this first exercise. Then in the second exercise, you will be answering me. My friend, are you ready? Okay, so let's start. The first question is saying that identify the type of data and measurement scale described in each of the following examples. Okay, I need absolute silence so that the mind can cogitate. Okay, so now let's start. Remember, the type of data is either going to be numerical or categorical. So note, qualitative, quantitative. I guess it's better to use numerical and categorical. Then the measurement scale is going to be all 4 of them. Okay, but what you should note is that nominal and ordinal are under what? Categorical. And then interval and ratio are under numerical. So let's set the ball rolling. First one, You are going to first tell me whether it's nominal or ordinal or interval. You're laughing, eh? You just be ready for it. An opinion poll was taken, asking people which party they would vote for in a general election. What data type do you think is operating here? Yeah, anybody? What data type is operating here? An opinion poll was taken, asking people which party they would vote for in a general election. If you are wrong, we'll correct you. You have to be wrong to be right, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, Kwesi?
Doc is categorical. And it's ordinal.
Ordinal. Yes or no? Yes, Charles.
I think it's categorical, but at this stage, I think it's nominal.
I like that.
Since the parties are all on the same level.
Good. Now let's see. Let's get deeper. Why this is nominal and not ordinal? Why? Why that is so? Because you see, an opinion poll was taken, asking people which party they would vote for. When you tell me the party you would vote for, it doesn't mean that party is going to be what? First. You telling me doesn't make that party first for it to be right. So as it stands now, you can't tell me that NDC is better than NPP, than PNC, than GCPP. You can't tell. All of them, even if you put a number on them, the number is meaningless. You can't. But once the vote has been counted, you get a point. Now you cannot tell clearly who is what there and who is there. Then those parties now become what? Ordinal data. But for now, this is nominal. Very good. Let's go to the next one. Easy peasy one. A market researcher stops you on the Spintex Road and asks you to rate between 1, which is disagree strongly, and 5, which is agree strongly, your response to opinions presented to you. What do you think? What type of data is this? And what is the scale of measurement? Who will set the stage? Yeah, Kinsley.
This is categorical data, but the scale is ordinal.
Explain.
Now, let me start from the ordinal scale. That is, there is a rating from 1 to 5. So that gives you an ordering. So you can order it from 1 to 5.
Good.
Now, the reason why it is nominal, the reason why it is
Ordinal.
Now, I think that is what I explained.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I think the other one is being categorical.
Exactly.
The reason why it's a categorical data is because it's a qualitative data, meaning when you take 1 and 5, the values there do not necessarily represent or cannot be quantitatively assessed to explain the phenomenon.
Yes.
That is what I think.
Good.
That is why I make it categorical.
Good. Charles, you have any other addition to that?
Yes, I think I also agree that it's categorical and ordinal, but I think it's categorical more because of the response can be strongly disagree, which is a group, a qualitative group, or you can belong to strongly agree, which is also qualitative. It is not as if strongly agree has an actual numeric value.
Yeah. You see, the one that I brought there is irrelevant, isn't it? I could have removed the 1, I could have removed the 5, and you will still say is what? Is ordinal. So the issue is not about the coding. It's not about the coding here. It is more about the words, the labels that are there. But within that label, you can rank them, even without the numbers in there. Very good. Let's go to the next one. Incomes of Ghanaian musicians. Incomes of Ghanaian musicians. What is that? What would you say would be the data type and the measurement scale?
I think it would be numerical and ratio.
Why?
Because Ghanaian musicians, some of them have zero income.
Good.
So, yeah, so
Good.
ratio scale.
That's it. That's it. If somebody should come to you, Charlie, do you have some money with you? Charlie, nothing, no, nothing. Nothing is in my pocket. That is a clear indication that this is a ratio. So you see, I did not write numbers for you to tell me that it's ratio. But just the statement alone tells you clearly that what? It is a ratio data. Excellent. Now, sometimes questions are rather posed because we usually, when we are looking for data, we go and ask questions, isn't it? So we don't normally put statements down. We rather ask questions. And the type of question you can ask will require that the data you are going to get is going to be a categorical or a numerical. And that the level of measurement is either going to be nominal, ordinal, or interval ratio. So I've deliberately brought similar question like that on the Wall Street Journal so that we can look at it. These are not statements like the one we did before, but they are rather like questions. You got to think and then reason from the question the data type, and then reason from the question the level of measurement. So let's see. The Wall Street Journal subscriber survey, October the 13th, 2003, asked 46 questions about subscriber characteristics and interest. Now you are to state whether each of the following questions you are going to see now provided categorical or numerical data and indicate the level of measurement or the level of measurement scale appropriate for each of the question. So let's set the stage. The first question is, what is your age? So if you ask what is your age, what is the data type in that question and what is the scale of measurement in that question?
So the data type is numerical, and the scale of measurement is ratio.
Excellent, excellent. No two ways about that. Why do you say so? Why do you say so?
So because one can be 0 years, and the numeric, it deals with numbers.
Good. Very good. No problem with that. You see, somebody can query you, can't you see? You see, the person can say that by you asking me my age, I'm already born. So I'm not 0 years by chance. You get a point? So how then could it be? Well, we know that age can be. So the question is not necessarily about you. It could be, it's necessarily about the age factor. Okay, age by its factor is or can be 0, just as we saw. So you see the answer there as numerical and then ratio. The next one, are you male or female? Are you male or female? What is it? Kinsley.
It is categorical data and is nominal.
Why?
Let me take it from the nominal first. Male belong to a group and female also belong to a group. It is nominal because I couldn't put number on male as 1 or female as 2 to say that 1 is important than 2 or 2 is important than 1.
And even if you should put a number,
it doesn't make any, or there's no meaning to the two groups.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that is why it is nominal.
Very good. I'm with you, brother. I'm very much with you. So you see that we have categorical and then we have nominal. Let's go to the next one. Now you have to open your mind, okay? Open the parachute so you can fly. When did you first start reading daily graphic? Is it high school, college, early career, mid-career, late career, or retirement? And when did you first start reading daily graphic? Now, who will set that ball rolling for us? Who will answer that for us? Yes. Charles.
Okay. For the data type, I think it's categorical because high school, early career, they look like categories to me, which somebody can belong to. And the way it has been put, it looks like it's been ordered. Like high school comes before college comes before early career, and so I would think it's also ordinal. So categorical and ordinal.
Excellent. Well done. You see, here is why I want you to note something. He's right. I have written the words in more of an ascending order. But even if I had, mixed them, suppose I had said retirement first, then I brought late career second, then I bring high school, college, early career, mid-career. It will still be what? Ordinal. So the examiner or the lecturer does not have to arrange it in order for you, or in a ranking form for you before you can sense that what it is clearly that. You should be able to do the ordering yourself. Okay, and then you will clearly see that this is a clear indication of an ordinal data. Very good. It's ordinal. Now let's go to the next one. How long have you been in your job or position? Be careful and think small, because this is coming to you. How long have you been in your job? Yeah.
I will go for numerical data. And the scale of measurement, I'll go for ratio.
That's very good. That's very good. No two words about that. Excellent. You nailed it right on the head. Now, I saw you were thinking small, but that was good. Because if you ask somebody, how long have you been in your job or position, it's assumed that the person is already on the job. So numbering must have already started counting. So how could that be what? 0? But the thing is that the person might say that, oh, I've not even started. So that within the question, you might be asking that person question at home. How long have you been in your job? Oh, I'm starting tomorrow. You see, so the how long is what? Is 0 years. Okay. So that is clearly that. So the clue is that anytime you have a question, think through and ask yourself, could it be 0? Could the answer? Please, the focus. Don't go and say that, how long have you been in your job? Then you write the answer 10 years old. Thinking about your own job. I'm not asking your own job. Like the last time I asked somebody, how old are you? In the exam, the person wrote, I'm 41 years old. But I'm not asking you about what? How old you yourself are. It is a question that you must be able to know the level of measurement. And then the last one. Let's go to the very last one. This one too, you got to take your time and think small. The question says, what type of car do you want to buy next? Or what type of car do you want to next buy? And there were a lot of responses. 9 responses were given, including BMW, Benz, Toyota, Hyundai, Ford, and etc. What do you think? Is this a numerical data or a categorical? And if so, is it nominal, ordinal, ratio, or interval?
I think this is categorical data, and it is nominal. Categorical because these are different types of cars. So BM belongs to a category, Benz to a category, Toyota to a category, etc. And nominal because when it comes to BMW, somebody might say it is better than Benz. Someone else may say Benz is better than BMW. So that is what I think is nominal.
I like the way you are struggling. That is good. Yes, Kwesi?
I'll go for the categorical, but I think it's ordinal because it said 9 responses, and those 9 responses gave these in like order from the BMW to the Benz to the Toyota, Hyundai, and Ford. So I think it's ordinal.
I like the answers. And I like the way some of you were smiling and then Kwesi's hand was up when they... Now, the question has been designed to test your cerebral cortex. That gumption there, so that you use. But the answers you are giving clearly tells me that the question is a lovely one. By its very nature, it's a very lovely one. First of all, I didn't give all the 9 responses, did I? I just gave how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the 9 responses. Okay. Second, who tells you that BMW is a top of all cars and that Ford is the worst of all? First, in the first place, when I didn't give all the others, and then Toyota is a third, and that Benz is second. So you can see clearly that yes, these are labels, so they are categorical. There's no problem with that. But in terms of whether it's nominal or ordinal, there's no. It's just a way to trick you. Clearly, you can see that this cannot be an ordinal one. It is a clear nominal one. And the reason why it's nominal is because you cannot, because I've not given you the type of the car. I've just given you more or less like the model. Okay. So I've not told you the engine capacity, the horsepower, all of these, for you to know clearly this is it. So just by looking at the company, you cannot use that to tell clearly which one is best. Toyota cars are very good. Benz is very good. BM is very good. Hyundai. Hey, I have a Hyundai car and it's very good. Okay. And Ford is also a wonderful one. So you can't really tell. I've not ranked them in any way by putting them in that situation. So this is categorical and obviously a numerical one. There is a very last one. I said there was a last one. Apparently there is a last one. Okay. And this one is not a small boy. So look at it with all joy. What grade did you get in research methods, my class? Okay. What grade did you get? Is it an A, F, D, B plus, or B? What do you think?
Okay. It looks categorical. And I would think there is an order to grade, so ordinal scale of measurement.
Good. Excellent. But I was wondering why you said I think or it looks like. Okay. The answers, look at the answers. The answers are, look, even if I had said, I don't have to put the answers as A, B plus, B for you to know that there is rank in it. Okay. In fact, I shouldn't have even given you the answers, the possible answers. Because if I should give you what grade did you get in research methods, that alone is enough. Because within that statement, what grade, there's ranking. There's ranking there. And there's no doubt that this is an ordinal one. And if it is ordinal, then obviously it is a categorical one. But you see, it would have been different if I had said, what mark did you get in research method? Think about that. I'm not asking you. Just think about that. What mark did you get in research methods? Good. So that is it. That brings us to the end of this session. I'm giving you certain practice questions when you are in a comfortable sofa. Just relax and just do this on your own. I'm not collecting it. Just practice it on your own. Foreign Affairs Magazine has conducted a survey to develop a profile of the subscribers of that paper. The following questions were asked the people. You are to comment on whether each question provides categorical or quantitative data and show the level of measurement in there. So I've given you each one of these ones. How many nights have you stayed in a hotel? How many nights? Where do you purchase books? And 3 options were listed: bookstore, internet, and then book club. Book club. Do you own a car? Do you own a car? And then for foreign trips taken in the past 3 years, what was your destination? 7 international destinations were listed for you. Okay. So you have to practice these on your own, and then we shall continue next time in our session 2. Remember, you always drink deep or you taste not the Pierian spring. So when I'm giving you this, when you are got to back home and you are studying, remember to study deep. I mean, drink deep, or don't taste my course. My course, you drink deep and you become well fed. Note and do that. You are welcome through to the journey through the valley of the shadow of research methods. Thank you very much.